Hey everyone, welcome back. There is a very interesting story in the cryptocurrency space going on right now. Now, I know this has been covered numerous times. However, wanted to jump in here and give my perspective as this is something that almost seems like although we have seen this movie before with the rise and fall of cryptocurrency exchanges. This one in particular is a bit interesting because I don't think there has ever been a company in or face or poster child, if you will, of crypto to go down and have this much craziness surrounding them. But anyway, I'm gonna read this, and so let's just jump right into it. It says here, you need to understand the FTX debacle even if you have no investments in crypto. So they have a picture here of Sam Bankman-Fried. It says here, the sudden collapse of FTX, the world's third largest cryptocurrency exchange, underlines how important it is for any investor to learn about the risks they take when they park their money with a lightly regulated firm. FTX and its affiliate companies filed for bankruptcy November 11th. The company founder Sam Bankman-Fried resigned his position as CEO and was replaced by John J. Ray III, a lawyer who has worked on the bankruptcies of Enron, Nortel Networks, and many other companies. Bankman-Fried is staying on with FTX to assist with an orderly transition, according to a press release. In this article here, they have an embedded tweet from FTX. And it is an official press release from their official Twitter account. It says FTX, based in the Bahamas, held about $16 billion in customer assets, but had lent out $10 billion of those funds to Alameda Research, a trading firm also run by Bankman-Fried and headquartered in Hong Kong. According to a Wall Street Journal report, it says Alameda, in turn, had lent out billions of dollars with some loans secured by FTT, a cryptocurrency created by FTX, according to a November 2nd report from CoinDesk. The value of FTT, which is... So FTT, for those who are unfamiliar, FTT is basically the token, the cryptocurrency associated with FTX. Kind of like how Binance has Binance Coin. So anyway, it says here, the value of FTT crashed as FTX faced $5 billion in customer withdrawal requests last weekend, which left FTX facing an $8 billion shortfall, according to Bankman-Fried. Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, had said it was selling its $500 million in FTT based on reports of FTX's loans to Alameda. In this week's distributed ledger column, Francis Yu rounds up the collapse of FTX rescue attempts and industry reaction. So then they just have a bunch of references to this, but this is obviously this news story kind of broke several days ago at this point, and it's a huge development going on in the cryptocurrency space. And I mean, this is absolutely insane. We have saw this movie before. We saw it with the Mt. Gox. We saw it with the other exchange in Canada that completely collapsed, where the founder ended up missing. We've seen this movie plenty of times before, but the interesting piece about this story is that FTX was able to really just came out of nowhere and took the cryptocurrency world by storm. And for those who have not been in the space long enough, you know, FTX started out as a portfolio tracking company, and it was called Blockfolio. And I remember this because I had I was a user of Blockfolio years and years ago. And basically, how it worked is you would plug in your cryptocurrency holdings, and it simply would just track, you know, your holdings in real time. You never deposited your actual crypto. You just kind of manually would plug in how many tokens you have, which ones you have, which exchange you bought it from, on which date, at which price, etc. And you could just have a very nice tracker there to track all your cryptocurrency holdings, which is useful, especially if you have cryptocurrency spread across different platforms, as well as if you have them on a ledger device or multiple ledgers. But anyway, that was the original idea of this platform. It was simply a cryptocurrency holdings platform. You put in how much crypto you have and you just track it. You don't send crypto, you don't buy crypto. And I remember one day opening up the Blockfolio app, which is what FTX was before it was FTX, and they did a rebranding, and I just saw FTX, and they started to get into the cryptocurrency trading space. And I don't really I personally did not never used FTX. I didn't like the platform. It just didn't seem as seamless to use in comparison to some of the other platforms out there. But what was so shocking was that they garnered tons of attention and money, and this guy Sam Bankman-Fried had an astronomical rise in the cryptocurrency space. Started seeing him on at all kinds of crypto and blockchain tech conferences, fintech conferences. He quickly became a poster child for crypto, and FTX had so much capital that they were buying advertisements. They were all over the televisions during Super Bowl. They were on YouTube ads. They bought the naming rights to an NBA stadium. They were everywhere, and it's really crazy to just see how fast that they've crashed here. And there's a lot still developing with this story, but I think the key thing to highlight here is what I always preach to folks who are in the cryptocurrency space or looking to get in, or new folks in the space. It's not the best idea to hold your crypto on cryptocurrency exchanges. Obviously, all of them are not going to be bad apples, but it's just not the safest bet, right? This technology is very new. It's not heavily regulated as it should just yet, which allowed FTX to garner so much investment from high profile people like Tom Brady. I think there was Kevin O'Leary invested in FTX. There were so many people that were accredited investors who had a reputation of making good bets and being overall successful investors, and they could not see this. And that's crazy. That's really crazy to me. But nonetheless, it happened. I'm gonna pivot here to this next piece because this one, this is the the kicker in all of this, right? Like so basically, Sam Bankman-Fried's Alameda quietly used FTX customer funds without raising alarm bells, say sources. So I am actually going to go down here to this piece. I'm going to skip over the key points, and I'm going to read the article. It says, Alameda Research, the fund started by Bankman-Fried, borrowed billions in customer funds from its founder's exchange, FTX, according to a source familiar with the company operations, who asked not to be named because the details were confidential. So basically, this Alameda Research Fund was created by Bankman-Fried, and it's also been documented, not in this article, but in others, that this Alameda Research is actually being ran by his girlfriend. So it was a fund. It started by Bankman-Fried. He borrowed billions of customer funds, right? So all the cryptocurrency that people are putting into the platform, he's taking that and sending it, funneling those funds to Alameda Research, which is insane. It says here, the crypto exchange drastically underestimated the amount of FTX needed to keep on hand if someone wanted to cash out, according to the source. Trading platforms are required by their regulators to hold enough money to match what customers deposit. They need the same cushion, if not more, in the event that a user borrows money to make a trade. According to the source, FTX did not have nearly enough on hand. So basically, this stanza is saying if you have a cryptocurrency exchange, right, and people, let's say it's open for everyone in the world, and there's $10 million worth of assets on there, you should, in theory, have $10 million of those assets that are easily accessible or able to be liquidated in the event that everyone wanted to withdraw their money. And it's pretty interesting. It's actually really interesting now that I just said that out loud. That's a requirement for cryptocurrency exchanges and these other platforms, but actually, I don't even think the banks work like that. I don't believe that the banks actually do not have enough reserves on hand, but that's an entirely different thing. It says here its biggest customer, according to a source, was a hedge fund, Alameda. The fund was partially able to cover up this activity because the assets it was trading never touched its own balance sheet. Instead of holding any money, it was borrowing billions from FTX users, then trading it, the source said. It says none of this was disclosed to customers. To CNBC's knowledge, in general, mixing customer funds with counterparties and trading them without explicit consent, according to U.S. securities law, is illegal. It also violates FTX's terms of service. Sam Bankman-Fried declined to comment on allegations of misappropriating customer funds, but did say its recent bankruptcy filing was a result of issues with a leveraged trading position. All right, so I'm going to skip the rest of this. Pretty lengthy piece, but really, I wanted to highlight here is basically this is the new information that's coming out as of the recent, say about the last 24 to 48 hours or so. Sam Bankman-Fried created a quote-unquote backdoor way to basically funnel money to this Alameda research fund, and was moving a lot of the money that people deposited onto the platform over to this other third party here. So pretty crazy stuff. And I wanted to cover this as well. Or highlight this really quickly. So SoftBank was also a investor in FTX. They had a stake in the company. They owned a percentage of the company, and they said to expect to lose about $100 million due to the FTX's insolvency. So, it says here, Japanese conglomerate SoftBank Group invested just under $100 million in the troubled crypto exchange FTX.com and anticipates writing down the entire value of the stake, according to a person familiar with the matter. I mean, this is just absolutely crazy. And, I am... I would not be shocked if we get another Netflix documentary on something like this once again, as we have had maybe 2 to 3 documentaries on the same type of situation where a CEO of a cryptocurrency exchange is taking money, or people on the exchanges, the customers are attempting to withdraw and no one can access their funds. So again, all of this is really just a point back to the fact that at this point, it is not looking too good to, one, hold crypto on platforms, regardless of how safe we think they are, how great we think they are, how easy they are to just kind of, easily buy and just store them there. No one saw this coming. I mean, nobody thought that FTX was this bad, and no one thought that this guy was operating like that. And it just goes to show you, how easy it is if he could get away with this for so long. It's all coming to light now. It just really makes me wonder which other platforms could potentially be doing this, or maybe have already done this in the past and maybe trying to backtrack. But there's a lot of concerns around just holding crypto on the platforms. If you do not have a ledger device, a cold wallet, I highly encourage you to get one, because you will never ever own your cryptocurrency outright unless you have it on a offline wallet that you physically have with you. But yeah, this is absolutely crazy. Insane story. I imagine there's going to be a lot more details to come out around this. But yeah, so wanted to cover this real quick. Yep. wanted to cover this real quick. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a great day and or night. Please remember to always do your own research, do your own due diligence always, and invest safely. And until next time, TCE signing off.